Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for the third and final part of the Q&As, so let's knock this out. Alright, first question. Hey Jason, from a bodybuilding perspective, if I wanted to get the back development from the deadlift and not the leg development, should I just focus on block pulls instead? Thanks. I do want to clarify, and some people say, Jason, you're splitting hairs. I do not consider bodybuilding to be anything other than competitive bodybuilding. And keep in mind, you wrote one word. You didn't write body space building. You wrote bodybuilding. That's a competitive endeavor. Just throwing that out there. And I know people say, oh, you argue that semantics. I think it's an important semantic to argue because I think bodybuilding is 100% negative and nothing positive, whereas I think building your body has merits. Now, that being said, why would you get more back development by just doing block pulls and doing the top half? I'm not sure where people come up with these really bizarre ideas. It's like, okay, so you're taking the hamstrings out a bit. Why would you get more back development? Why don't you want hamstring development? Like, are you opposed to growing your hamstrings? And if you honestly don't want really massive hamstrings, if all you do for your hamstrings is deadlifts, they're not going to overshadow the rest of your physique. You're not going to get hamstrings so big that they look deformed on you if all you do is deadlifts. I wouldn't worry about it. Number two, because you're using a shorter range of motion with better leverages, which makes lifting weight easier, you're forced to use a heavier weight when you do the partials. Since you're forced to do a heavier weight to get the same amount of muscle growth, it impedes your recovery more because of the axial loading on your spine. So hypothetically, if your goal was maximum back development and you wanted to utilize a deadlift to do so, you need to do a longer range of motion. You either need to do a full deadlift or you need to consider even a deficit deadlift depending on your anthropomorphology. I know I said that horribly, but it's all good. You see the problem there? Hopefully that makes sense. You would actually do more work with less compression of the spine. So again, no, I don't think this is what you want to do at all. And I know a lot of bodybuilders are teaching that and stuff these days, but I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's helpful. And I don't think removing your hamstrings from the deadlift is the magic secret to making your back grow. I'm sorry, I don't think there's anything to that but just silly bro science. All right, next question. So, I haven't done any squats or deadlift for 2 weeks, and it took about a week for tightness in my lower back to feel better. So today I tried squats again, no deadlifts, and I felt again some tightness, discomfort in my lower back, so I stopped. Definitely do not experience the same discomfort as the first time, but I do feel enough to not try another set. Do you think I should lay off squats and deadlifts for a few weeks? Or I feel like it might be my technique. However, I think it's more likely I just overdid it on that day and I'm still recovering. I've never had any back pain like this from lifting and always used the same technique basically. Now this happened for a guy who was using high reps. I trimmed his question way down. No, brother, you'll need to take time off. You need to come in and work on your technique. Your form probably broke down. You got a little bit of overuse strain from using really high reps and maybe letting your form degrade. And by not training the squat and the deadlift, you're not going to ingrain form. You're going to start losing gains. You need to come in and do them. You need to do them with a weight that you can handle. Because what you described to me, your lower back feels tight. You might have overreached. You maybe have some localized minor overuse that needs to recover. You need to come in and just squat and deadlift lighter and with less reps and hone your technique in and work on your form and ingrain that while not stimulating it so much that it becomes a problem. And we all go through this. Lower back fatigue and some lower back tightness and a little bit of cramping in the muscles themselves is going to happen when you're training hard on the squat and deadlifts. It will happen invariably. That's when you need to back down, but you need to assess the difference though between some mild overreaching and localized overuse versus actual injury. And what you're describing so far, it doesn't sound like an injury. It just sounds like you fatigued it a bit. So you need to adjust what you're doing. You need to back off a hair, but you don't need to quit. All right, next question. What is your opinion on weighted lunges and plyometrics as part of a program for strength and performance? being that you advocate athleticism and functionality, I don't think I've heard you speak on this. You see exercises like these in many programs from coaches, specifically in contact sports. All right, plyometrics, if you're a field athlete, has its place in your training. Box jumps and all of that. Yeah, weighted jumps. I think it has its place. It has its place. Again, depending upon the specificity of what you need to do, what your sport is. You can't replace squats. I think weighted lunges are useless. As people go, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. If you have access to a barbell and you can barbell squat, I just don't see the point of lunges. Just like I don't see the point of Bulgarian split squats. I did a whole video on that a while back. What's the point? If you want to build your quads while working your core and glutes and everything concurrently, get under a barbell and squat. I don't care what type of squat, front squat, high bar, low bar, squat. The lunge brings literally nothing to the table that the squat doesn't bring. Before you guys bring up this silly unilateral stuff, I don't think that has any advantages. All right, I think anything that anyone wants to get out of a lunge is better served doing a squat. I just don't have a use for them. And I know some people are like, well, it puts less strain on your lower back. And it's like, okay, program your training better. Program your training better. All right? Use variations of the lifts that don't strain the lower back as much. Meaning, if lower back fatigue is your concern, then front squat for a while. If you're field athletes, if lower back fatigue becomes a major concern, have them swap over to the trap bar deadlift for a while instead of the regular barbell deadlift. All right, these are easily fixed problems that allow you to continue to use big movements to develop your size and strength and performance without having to do a silly one-legged unilateral stuff. It's just not necessary. We have better tools available that do a better job. Therefore, it makes exercises like this useless unless it's the only thing you could literally do. You don't have access to a barbell. In which case, I don't know how athletic you expect to get. All right, next question. Can you talk about squat stance, shoulder width or wider, position of feet, whether you think they should be pointed out or completely straight, and knowing which one is best for you? Thanks. I don't believe in the feet straight forward on squats. The toes need to be slightly out because that's your body's natural position anyways. Now, how far out is going to depend. Just like with squat width, do a little research. I don't know the sites offhand, but there are exercises you can do or have someone do for you with you laying on your back and other things to where you can assess your hip structure and figure out where you can squat ideally. Meaning if you haven't been able to do it by feel, just by getting under a bar, there are exercises you can do that have been figured out by various coaches and experts that can help you assess your internal hip structure to figure out how wide of a squat you can or can't get away with ideally, and still get your full range of motion. Kind of if you need a large amount or only a small amount of toes out, there are exercises they can do to where you can manipulate your legs and hips pushed up to see where your structure is and where things bind and everything as far as your bone structure goes. So this is all easily available stuff. Do a little digging, you'll be able to find it. All right, next question. I already do the flat bench weighted dips and the push press at least twice a week. Do you think I would have any noticeable benefits? Do you think I would have any noticeable gains if I added the incline press? No. You're already doing 3 different exercises that work all the functions of your chest and all your pressing motions. You're doing them all twice a week. Probably since you're doing 3 different ones twice a week, your volume is probably about as high as you can adapt to. I don't think you're going to see a single benefit from adding incline benching of any type. I don't think it's going to do anything for you that you're already getting. If you want to take one of those other exercises out, maybe, but I don't know that you're going to see a significant improvement. You're already push pressing and then you're doing these other sorts of chest presses. I think you got the bases covered. 3 different exercises done twice a week. No, I don't think you're going to get anything from adding a new type of press. Nothing at all. All right, next question, last question of the week. Howdy Jason, what's your opinion on bringing back dueling? Thanks. I've been a supporter of this for a long time. I've said for a long time, you want to bring back pistol duels for gentlemen? That will resolve all these problems with people being offended. It will resolve all these problems with these snowflakes. I think it's a viable solution for a lot of problems. We go back to the way it was back in the 1800s, here in the U.S. Yeah, I'd love to see it come back with that. The pistol duel, And we could even have public figures obviously settle their differences on television with pistol duels. Now, wouldn't that be entertaining? It could be like a modern gladiator arena. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean the average person gets to challenge public figures because they don't like them. But, other public figures, they could do out their differences with pistols at dawn. Yeah, you betcha. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.